Armenians and only to Armenians.
While Israel continues its gruesome military operation in Gaza, it is quietly waging another war inside the ancient stone walls of Jerusalem's old city. The target of this assault is not some band of insurgents, but Jerusalem's smallest religious minority, Armenian Christians.
The Armenian presence in Jerusalem has existed for more than a millennia, and it's been bought with blood, sweat, and a lot of sacrifices. So to have it all whisked away is a tragedy for us.
The Armenian quarter of Jerusalem is home to a 1,600-year-old Christian community. Stones, rock walls, and crosses line their narrow streets.
The Christian quarter and the Armenian quarter, they're connected through Christianity, but the Armenian nation was the first country to adopt Christianity as a state religion. So since the 4th century, there have been a lot of pilgrims who came here, and over the years, over the millennia, they developed what is now known as the Armenian quarter of Jerusalem and the Armenian patriarchate of Jerusalem.
Before October 7th, a corrupt Armenian church leader secretly signed over a giant swath of the priceless Armenian quarter to Xana Capital, a mysterious real estate firm registered in Dubai. Before the deal was finalized, the Armenian community discovered that Xana Capital's owner is an Israeli-Jewish businessman with countless links to Israeli settler organizations, in addition to Israeli organizations known for carrying out massive land grabs against non-Jews on behalf of Jewish settler development companies. The community canceled the deal, but after October 7th, the company returned, attempting to destroy the Armenian quarter and take the land by force. On November 5th, Xana Capital and Jewish settlers from the West Bank illegally raided the Armenian quarter with bulldozers, attack dogs, and automatic weapons, seeking to dislodge the original and legal Armenian occupants.
My family has been here since 1919. Whenever they come over here and tell us that, yeah, this is our land, this is our property, my family's presence alone predates the state of Israel. So to use the "we were here before" argument, it doesn't really stick with Armenians over here because we've been here since the 4th century.
qu'elle is a Jerusalemite Armenian, and now one of the many community members who's spending all their time protecting the Armenian quarter from Xana Capital and their Jewish-Israeli settler proxies.
We saw a bulldozer trying to tear down the wall. Again, immediately we coordinated with the community and we gathered up around here and literally stood in front of the bulldozers. The bulldozer went left, we went left with it, right, we went with it, and Danny Rothman and George Warwar, representatives of Xana Capital, came here and tried to kick us off our land. Then they came with armed settlers with attack dogs.
Over the months, Xana Capital and its Israeli settler muscle have attempted, but failed, to take over any of the Armenian quarter. Though Israeli settlers have managed to destroy property of the church, members of the Armenian community have stationed themselves at the Cow's Garden 24/7, the only open space in the entire Old City and a sacred part of the Armenian quarter. Xana Capital is dead set on claiming this area because of its strategic significance in furthering the Judaization of Jerusalem.
We've been stationed over here since the 5th of November when they first attacked us, and we've been guarding our presence and heritage over here 24/7, taking shifts, taking time away from our families, our works, our daily lives, and at this point our sanity. Here, like everything, like tea, coffee, food. We get daily food from the Armenian patriarchate, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we're grateful for that at the very least. Over here is the surveillance area, so we have access to the cameras over here. We take shifts. We monitor the situation 24/7 at all times to see if there are any potential attacks or anyone suspicious wandering around the area. These are the tents where we sleep, but again, we sleep on the sofas as well. So a bit of a home for us over here so that we can properly monitor the situation.
So even this was destroyed with a bulldozer?
Yeah.
In an effort to turn the Israeli public against the Armenian community, Xana Capital has cast a familiar accusation. The Armenians are anti-Semites.
The old city of Jerusalem is divided into 4 quarters. You have the Jewish quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, and the Armenian quarter. So if you ask anyone from any quarter how the Armenians behave, how they work, how they act generally, they will all say good things, that we're hardworking, we keep to our own, we don't bother anyone, and we're certainly not anti-Semitic, which they try to label us as.
How do they try to accuse you of anti-Semitism?
I mean, because we're against the deal of Xana Capital, they interpret that as a deal against Jewish developers. But it's not that simple, there's nuance. In the old city, property like this is priceless, you can't even put a price on it. This property belongs to Armenians and only to Armenians.
But it's not just the company and settlers seeking to seize the land. The Judaization of Jerusalem is an explicitly stated objective of the Israeli state. It should come as no surprise then that hyper-militarized Israeli police are assisting Xana Capital's campaign to dispossess and ethnically cleanse the Armenians. Hagab Jamazian is an Armenian actively protecting the quarter and the church's property. The police and IDF were supporting the illegal actions of this campaign.
Yes, instead of demanding from the company to show papers, to show permissions, they arrived here and they demanded from us to leave the land.
On April 3rd, representatives of Xana Capital, along with Hilltop Youth, a group of hardline extremist Jewish settlers illegally residing in the West Bank, gathered at the Armenian quarter's Cow's Garden and began destroying the security outposts that the Armenian community set up to protect themselves and their property. They also assaulted clergy members for attempting to stop the illegal destruction and evictions. As usual, Xana Capital and the settlers were accompanied and assisted by heavily armed Israeli police who carried out arrests of Armenian clergy members.
Сырпазан!
when the dust cleared from the latest raid on the Armenians. The Armenian community planted the flag of Artsakh in the pile of rubble that was originally church structures, destroyed by Israeli Xana Capital bulldozers. This symbol refers to the fight of ethnic Armenians to resist a similar campaign of displacement and ethnic cleansing by Azerbaijan last year, an onslaught also supported by Israel.
This rubble that the bulldozer created, basically we put the flag of Artsakh over here because during the 44-day war, we lost 5,000 people, 5,000 brothers and sisters in Artsakh. A few years later, we lost Artsakh as a whole. It was fully ethnically cleansed by Azerbaijan. And Israel was complicit in that ethnic cleansing. And to see their encroachment tactics over here, it strengthened our resolve and made us even more determined to stand our ground, because we won't just lay down and wait for